Hello, book besties, and welcome to my reading wrap up for September. I'm gonna do this reading wrap up a little bit different. This is gonna be me talking about these 7 books that I read throughout September. I want to say quality over quantity, but honestly, it's neither this month. I did read a couple of books that were a little meh, but I'll talk about that in a bit. I'm being inspired by my friend Betty Jean, and she has a book channel as well. I'll link it down below. And she's been doing book reading wrap-ups, reviews, more vlog style throughout the month. So I've been filming little clips throughout the month, and I'm gonna include those in a little bit after I do some statistics. You know, I love some statistics. And you're gonna have to let me know if you prefer this or if you prefer the old ways. I might still do it one more month, even though it's like the 12th of October and I still have not filmed a single clip for this month because I have been busy with a launch of my own beauty brand, which is Cinch Beauty. So I've been reading, but I haven't been updating, but I'll get to it. And if you want to get updated on my reading live, I want to say, but as it's happening, please follow me on Instagram and on my Goodreads. All of the info about these books and all of those things are gonna be down in the description box if you want to follow me along on other platforms, maybe my main channel as well. But I am gonna go through all of the books that I've read as I'm reading them, updating them as I'm reading them, giving you some thoughts about it and some reviews about it as I'm finishing them up throughout the month. And hopefully it will be good and hopefully you will enjoy it, but let me know some thoughts about it down below. I do have some statistics because we all know I love some statistics, and it's just something that I need for me. So like I said, I read 7 books, which is not as many books as I usually read throughout the month. For like reference, it is the 12th of October and I've already read 5 books this month. So I usually read more, but I did read 3,292 pages. A couple of these books were kind of thick, so I did still get through quite a few pages. I did give a 3.9 average rating, which is not super high. There were a couple of books that was dragging the number down because they were not my absolute favorite. I did read the 5 books that I had on my TBR list. I do have a TBR jar picks my reads for the month, and I did read all 5 of those. And then I read 2 mood reads, which one of them was a reread, which very unusual for me. So I read 4 physical books, 1 on my Kindle because that was one of my TBR prompts, and then I actually listened to 2 audiobooks. Listening to audiobooks is not usually how I prefer to read books. I still think listening to a book is reading a book, I'm gonna be honest with you. Mostly I have been listening to audiobooks when it's a book that I'm having a hard time getting through, like that Lauren Roberts trilogy. We will talk about that in a bit because thank Lord, I'm through that series now. We'll talk about that in this video for sure. But I reread Quicksilver by listening to it, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it made me realize the voice actors. That's what does it for me. If there's good voice actors, I'm actually really enjoying it. So I'm already have listened to a book in October, and I'm listening to my second book in October, and it's actually been helping me a lot because I've been battling with my mental health. It's been absolutely in the gutter, but listening to audiobooks with a good cast, it's been helping me. It's been helping me, and I've really been enjoying that. Not that it's my preferred way to listening to books, but it's been helping with my mental health. And if I can find another tool to help me with my mental health, that is amazing to me. So let's talk about the ratings. I gave 2 books a 5-star. I gave 3 books a 4-star. I gave 1 book a 3-star, and I gave 1 book a 2-star. Like I said, that 2-star, it had its moments, but mostly it did not. Mostly it did not. And I will say the genres that I read this month very much represents, even though I only read 7 books, it very much represents the genres that I like to read. I read 4 fantasies, 1 cowboy romance, and 2 contemporary romances. And I even got into a contemporary romance that was very much outside of my normal sphere of reading, and I realized what I do like in a contemporary romance and what I don't like in a contemporary romance, and we will talk about that now that we get into the vlogging portion of the video. This is going to be clips, like I said, that I have filmed throughout the month of September. Let me know what you think about this. Give me feedback. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want me to go back to my old times? I probably will do it, like I said, for 1 more month at least, but I would love to hear your thoughts. So let's roll back to Past Angie. I'm so excited to be filming in this new way, just sitting down talking about the books as they're coming up. So I am reading Paisley Hope's Riding the High. That's the book that I decided to start with because I was like craving just a nice romance, and I know that Paisley Hope is just so good at writing really good like feelings, and I started reading this today
as I'm filming this, it is the 3rd of September. And I did technically start reading this on the 1st of September, but I only read one chapter. But yesterday, on the 2nd, on Tuesday, I did sit down and I read half of the book. So one could say I'm obsessed. It's such a good book. I am really enjoying this one. I'm really enjoying the premise of this book. So these are childhood friends, and they have always had a soft spot for each other, but none of them is like saying anything to the other, and they've never really acted on it whatsoever. He turned into the town's Casanova, and she basically swore off dating altogether because she's like, I'm not dealing with this. So they are going to their friend's bachelor and bachelorette party in Vegas, and it ends up being a drunken night wedding in Vegas. I am obsessed. This man is so into her. And he is battling with this, she's too good for me. She's going places. I will drag her down. And I am just, he's like, I'm going to ruin everything. I'm going to ruin the friendship. And I'm here for these characters. The characters are amazing. He's also a single dad. So there, I don't want to give up way too much of the plot, but truly, so far, I'm absolutely enjoying this one, and I will probably finish it today. I'm having some lunch now and finishing up some work. It is like 4 p.m., but I think I'm gonna sit down after. I need to head to FedEx as well, but and I think I'm gonna read this book, finish it, and I will probably come back and talk to you tomorrow, and we can see where I'm at because I have a sneaking suspicion I will be finished with this one. Okay, I finished a book. I thought I was gonna finish it yesterday, but I didn't. I did read some of it yesterday and then I finished it today after work. And I think this is my new favorite Paisley Hope book. I Again, this is childhood friends to lovers, and it is just so sweet and endearing. And there is something about how Paisley Hope writes people and emotions, and I'm enamored. I'm enamored with her way of some like describing people and feelings and emotions and what's going through their heads. And it's never, at least according to me, it's never cringy. Because there's always that like third act breakup, which this one, it's not a third act breakup. There's always something happening in the third act. But with Paisley Hope, it's never cringe. It's never forced. It's never like, oh, you would never do that. You would never say that. You would never react like that. I don't feel she writes like that. She writes it in a way where you feel like, you know what? I might say that too. I might react like that too. And I just find it fascinating. There is a lot of smut because that's how Paisley Hope writes, but this one really got to me. I don't know if this is, I would say if I was dealing in half stars, I would probably give this a 4.5. But I'm not, so that's why I'm gonna have to take a couple of days. You'll probably see it. For now, I'm putting 4.5 stars, and I'll think about it a little bit more. I will be doing a little bit of a what would you call it? Some kind of a summary at the end, I guess, when I've read all my books, and we'll talk about final reviews and which one's my favorite books and stuff. But I'm really happy I picked this one as one of my books to read this month because I am smitten. I'm smitten with the series. This isn't really a cowboy romance, like I said in the earlier clip. It's a guy that grew up in a cowboy family. He grew up on a ranch, but he decided to be a police officer instead. And so it's part of that family, it's part of that universe, but this isn't particularly a cowboy romance. And you know what? I kind of enjoy it being like adjacent, but not entirely so. I'm very impressed with this book. I had a freaking great time reading this book, and this was exactly the palate cleanse that I needed after a high fantasy book. So I don't know which book I'm going to read next, and I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or not. I am leaving for travels on Sunday, so I will most probably I will I'll bring you with me. I'll bring you with me and we'll see what I read during my travels cuz I'm going for a Sunday to Sunday, so 8 days I'm gone. But I might start something before then, and I don't know if it's going to be if I'm probably going to read something on my TBR list. If that's going to be a romantasy, if that's going to be a fantasy, if that's going to be a contemporary romance, I don't know, but I will for sure be reading one of the books that I picked, like in my TBR jar picks my books. I will for sure be reading one of those books. But I am on such a high. Yeah, I'm definitely riding the high. That book was great. I loved it. I am not at home. I am currently in New York and I started reading a new book and then I didn't have time to update you at all about it. But I started reading People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This was on my TBR this month. And I started reading this one a little bit at home, about a third. And my initial impression was that I wasn't super enthralled with it. But as you can tell, I'm not at home. I'm in a hotel room in New York City. I was going to say Viva New York City. No, no. So I read and I'm almost done with it. I think you can see. Yes, I'm the person. Yes, I am the person that will like fold. Don't come for me. These are my books. I paid for them. I'm allowed to do this. But I'm almost done with the book. And about a third into the book, this AC is loud. Sir, sir, I'm trying to do something here. Oh my gosh. About a third into the book, I was like, this is not for me. This is why I don't like contemporary romance. These are this book for me, the first third of the book should have been like people we meet in our everyday lives and don't care about. Listen, I said what I said. I said what I said. But about a third into the book, it started getting actually funny. And I started laughing out loud on the plane, which was mildly awkward. Not as awkward as the last third where I'm starting crying instead in amongst people, which again, not ideal. So this is about Poppy and Alex, and they've been bestest of best friends, platonical, since college. And this is every year they go on a yearly the summer trip, the yearly summer trip. And it's basically current time. We can tell in the beginning of this that something happened on one of these trips, which made them distance themselves from each other. And the book starts with Poppy having almost like a midlife crisis and just being like, I miss Alex. I need to fix this. I need us to be friends again. And she goes off to suggest a new yearly trip. And the book is handling with their past trips, why they are as good friends as they are, how they work together, their chemistry, and also intertwining that with this year's trip and what is going on and all of those things. And I gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. I am really enjoying how Emily Henry is writing. It's very witty. And like I said, there's several times where I've laughed out loud, which is not common for me when I read books. Okay. I am a crier. Anything will make me cry. Okay. That is not a feat. If I say I cried to a book, that means nothing. Okay. It means absolutely nothing. But if I say I laughed out loud, that does mean something. It's very low on smut. There's a little smut, but like, is it even a chili pepper? I mean, it's like a bell pepper that someone like a red bell pepper, and if you squint, we all have that grandmother that thinks that black pepper is spicy. That's what this bell pepper is. That grandmother that's like, is that chili? There's a little spice, but nothing much. So if you like contemporary romance with very little spice, this might be for you for sure. I am enjoying it, but I will say I wasn't. I felt like the first third of this book was like a 2-3 star. Again, people with me on vacation, it's just like I don't really care about these people, but it did sneak up on me, and I am actually quite enjoying it right now. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this book. I only have, I think, 50 pages or something left of this book, so I'm definitely gonna be finishing this one probably today, and I'll get back to you. Also, I forgot to say, but I'm also currently listening to, remember that trilogy by, is it Lauren Roberts? Powerless, Reckless, Humorless, Thoughtless. What is it called? I don't even remember what it's called, but you're seeing the book here somewhere in the sphere of all of this. Okay. I'm listening to this book right now. I am about, okay, I listened to it because it is stale. Oh my god, this book is so stale. It is so boring. I really tried. Listen, I tried. The first book I gave a 1 star because literally these people suck. They're so boring. They're so annoying. I could not care about these less. And there's literally like life threatening things going on, and these guys are like, but do you like me? I simply cannot. Second book actually had a plot. First book plot, question mark. I don't think she entered the chat. Second book actually has a plot. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun. It was touching on some interesting subjects. Third book somehow is this first book again, but the characters are just slightly less annoying. We're still in this triangular, like, love triangle drama. I'm like, that is actually quite the feat to be an author and be able to go back to a past triangle, love triangle, and just like wake it up from the dead. Nobody asked for it, but here we are. And also plot, question mark, less of oh my god, the AC went off, thank you god. This is said to be romantasy, but like, they fantasy, question mark, it didn't really need to be a romantasy. There's just so many things that are not fantasy in this book. It's hard to explain, but there are some traditions where you could tell the author couldn't bother to figure something out that wasn't what we have going on in this civilization right now. There's literally zero imagination. So she just took whatever's going on in the world right now and she just plopped that into this fantasy world. And it's just, this book is doing something that I quite honestly think is the worst thing a book can do. And it is that it is so boring. It is so boring. And the writing is so repetitive to the point that I find myself rolling my eyes so far back in the head. I basically see my brain when this author is just rehashing and reusing some of her ways of writing too many times, like twice in a chapter sometimes. And I'm like, my dude, you have no. It is just not a fun book. And it's just literally the first book again with the challenges and the love triangle. I'm just like, I don't love it. Also, she's trying to do a plot twist. I mean, love you for trying, but it is so thinly veiled that, like, if you don't see that coming, I don't think you actually read the book at all. Like, I don't know, because there's no way you didn't figure that out 40% into the book. I mean, there's literally places where she almost like spells it out, but I'm like, oh, I get it. You want to have a plot twist, but like, there's not much of a plot twist if you keep telling us all the time that this is going to happen. It's just not great writing. And I know sometimes I let bad writing, kind of slip through because I'm like, this book made me feel something, but I cannot let bad writing go if it's this stale and boring. I'm sorry. We have got to draw the line somewhere, and I'm drawing the line here, okay? Second book, I liked it. Third book, what is going on? No, really. The amount of, like, just me listening to people's inner, like, monologue, I should invoice them for all this therapeutical, like, I'm literally their shrink at this point. The way that I have listened to their thoughts for what, 400 pages? I think I should be paid. Like, I feel like I should be compensated for the time lost listening to these people telling me instead of showing me. Ugh. And it's just harping on and on and on. Can you tell I'm so bored by this book? I am, like I said, listening to it. I'm gonna finish listening because I don't have that much left. But I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for a good romantasy series, don't pick this one. This is actually Angie from the future. Angie from the future is here, and I realized when I started editing this video that I did not tell you how I actually felt about the end of Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation. So I did finish this book when I was in New York, but then things just happened and I forgot to, like, let you know what I actually thought about the book. I gave this book a 4-star. I thought this book was really fun and endearing, and I thought the love story was written really interestingly. I will say the first third of the book I thought was boring. I was not entertained. But I think that's a me thing. I don't think that it's the book's fault. I say that with love. But I fear that this book has qualities of contemporary romance that I don't like, which is, these are just any people. any people. And I am not interested in reading about everyday life. I really am not. That's why I'm enjoying cowboy romance, because I'm never going to meet a cowboy. Listen, I'm never going to be on a ranch. I'm never going to do any of that. That's why some of these contemporary romances, they're just really out there. I can do that. But this one, it's just two people that could have been any friend or any coworker, and I'm just like not that interested in that. And I don't say that with like malice. I'm not like, ugh, these people. I'm just like, there's nothing wrong with them, they're me. But I'm not looking for a book to see myself in. I am looking for new different experiences that I will never do. And you know what, I am in a way her. When I was in my 20s, I was her. I was this disorganized. I was all over the place. I would come up with these wild schemes. Like that was me. I was impulsive and I didn't think things through. And of course not the love story, but I'm just saying it is, I just don't want to read about everyday people, and which is again one of the reasons why I've been enjoying cowboy romances and even like those kind of billionaire romances. Or it just needs to be a little bit, people can't be too normal. This is also why I don't read biographies. I don't care about people that much. I mean, that sounds rough. I care about people in my real life. But if I'm going to read about people that feel like they are in my real life, I'll just call a friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to call a friend. So, for that reason, I think this has just made me realize that for me, for contemporary romance to actually work for me, I do think it needs to have some kind of element that is just not everyday life, not relatable. Because again, she's a travel like vlogger or travel like influencer, and he's a teacher, and it's just like they're too normal. They're too normal. I love the humor in it. I literally laughed out loud a couple of times. I really liked it. I think I need them to be a little bit more out of the ordinary. I do have Beach Read, which I think is about two authors. That might actually work better because, again, that's very outside of what's ever possible for me. And also, I don't know any authors except my friend Samantha March. And I am just very excited to read that one instead and see how I feel about that. But it was interesting to read. I did enjoy it. I gave it a 4 star. I just realized this is not perfect for me. Hello, my little book nerds. Hello, besties. I'm so excited to tell you that I have been reading a bit more. Okay. So let me see if I can put this up a bit. I am currently reading the third book in Blood and Salt, and I am, I think, almost halfway through. I am enjoying it, but not as much as number one and number two. And I think it's because some of the tension or some of the conflict I feel is being solved or like overlooked or like solved internally with people a little bit too easy. But again, we're only, I think I'm 40% through. I'm enjoying it, but right now, as it is right now, it's feeling like a 3 star, but things could change because I do enjoy the fast pace of this book. And I enjoy that there's like, it is a fast pace. Oh my God, it's such a fast pace. And I'm enjoying the introduction of new characters very much, very much enjoying the introduction of new characters and introduction of new alliances. I am very much for that one. So that's why I'm saying it could very easily turn into a 4 star. And what I really like about this series altogether is that, yeah, it is romantasy, but it's not like leaning too heavily on the romance. So far I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna bring my Kindle. I'm back in New York. I'm back in New York City. I've been in Catskills. Didn't read. I read like 2 chapters, 3 chapters in Catskills, but I'm back here and I'm having 2 days for myself here in New York. I'm gonna wind down. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna bring my book. So I'm probably gonna finish this book before I leave New York. I would be surprised if I didn't. And on the train here, actually, because we went on a train from Hudson here, I continued listening to Fearless because I need to be done with that book because it's been so stale. It's just me listening to a lot of inner monologue. And if the pacing is good in the third book of Blood and Salt, the pacing of this one is just an unhurried snail.
there's no there's just not much happening. I'm just listening to what people are thinking all the time, and I really feel like I should be paid for all this like work that I'm doing, listening to all of their heartache. Um, I think that without giving away the plot, I think because I'm at the part right now where things are wrapping up. I'm really towards the end. I'll come back and I'll talk more about it once I get to the last part because I feel like I have like an hour left to listen, but I do think it's going to be like wrapping up parts. Um, because I'm at the part now where all the plot is no longer thickening. Everything has pretty much been sorted out. We understand like all the backstories and all the motivations of people. I don't like how this story has been wrapped up because I feel like the author really had this really good theming of us and them in the book two. And I said I felt like book two was about racism. And I don't feel like the author fully took advantage of what she had built in book one and book two about us versus them. She just kind of took all of that for granted in book three and she didn't really spin anymore on that. And it just became instead this love triangle, and then at the end there's like a different kind of like family plot, which I do appreciate. Actually, that plot actually is the only thing I've been appreciating in this last book. Unfortunately it came at like what, the 80% mark. So I do appreciate that, but I don't appreciate how she just totally let go of the good foundation that she did in book two. I liked book two. I hated book one. Book three, it's so the pacing is so slow. And there's really not much plot to talk about. And the writing is so repetitive. She keeps using these little tricks. I use tricks very loosely, like that tricks is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, where she's repeating things, repeating them again but slightly different to make like to punctuate or like to make note of how important it is, but she does it twice per chapter. And my dude, you no, that I firm no, straight to jail. We're not allowed to do that. And she keeps doing it at the end too. The writing is giving I won a writing contest in high school. It's pretentious and kind of juvenile. And I want to say I say that with love, but I say it bored. I'm kind of bored by the story, and I feel like this series is doing what I think is the most biggest cardinal sin when it comes to a book, which is that it's boring. It's boring. I really try to care about these people, but dang, this story is so stale.
Okay. It is currently Tuesday, and I have, since we talked, finished 3 books. Don't come for me. Okay, let me. I did finish the third book in the Blood and Salt series by. Oof, I forgot her name. Let me put the book title here somewhere. I don't know where I'm putting it. I liked it, but I didn't love it the way that I loved the other 2 books. So this is the third book in the series. I'm pretty sure there are 4 books. And to sum my review up of this book, I would like to say I gave the first book a 4 star. I gave the second book a 4 star. I gave the third book a 3 star. And I think, and this is just me guessing from where the plot is going and where the story is going, there is a fourth book, and I think the third book and the fourth book should have been just a thicker third book. I don't think there was a need for these to be split up. It felt like this was almost transportation because the plot, a lot of things. If you were to ask me without me giving away, what is the third book about? It is just a bunch of mini things that are happening in between the second book and what I am assuming going to be the last battle in the fourth book. And I just think that they could have made a thicker third book because the plot isn't thick enough or important enough for it to be a book on its own. All of these books have been around 300 pages. They're a pretty easy read. There is a little smut in them, but it's like an open door, but they don't give you all the details. It's not that much. I think there's only 2 scenes in the book, and it's overall not an overwhelming smutty thing. The romance is not the backbone of the story. There is a plot. The problem is that I don't think in the third book the plot is important, big, or interesting enough to warrant its own book. I don't feel like there's ever any really life or death situation. Some things are just overcome too easily or brushed away or just kind of happening while they're on their way somewhere else. And I think this book would probably have benefited from being part of a bigger, thicker book three. So don't dislike it. Definitely going to read the fourth book, which I think is the last book. Just don't like this one as much as I like the first book and the second book. The book series, I'm just going to say like what the first book is, because of course I can't tell you what the third book is without giving it away. But the series is worth reading. This is romantasy if it was set in ancient Greece, and there is an island where the Fae is living, which is Konos, which is loosely built on Crete, and then Greek mythology. There are gods and goddesses. There are dragon shifters. There is wolf shifters. There are vampires. There are Fae. There are humans. Ara is the main character. She's living in the last human city. She is the bastard child of the king. Her mother is unknown. She has three sisters that the king has with the queen. The queen hates her, and she wants nothing else but to just go to the border, to the wall, and serve in the war against the dragons. But then comes the choosing, which is a big ritual where the Fae comes to the last human city, which again, loosely based on Athens. This is romantasy meets Greek mythology, and she is to be part of the choosing, which is where the Fae takes some of the humans back to Konos and does Lord knows what. It's all a mystery. And that's where the plot begins, basically. And again, I do love the series. It is definitely taken a detour. I can't really tell you what the other books is about without giving away the plot, but it is a good series for sure. The second book that I finished was, of course, then Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the third, and thank God, the final book in this trilogy that, quite honestly, I read it so you don't have to. If you are looking for an interesting romantasy with a great plotline, great characters, not this one. Don't pick this one. This is not that. Okay? This is doing the general sin of being boring. The last book is boring. It's boring. And when I'm really disappointed, so I read the first book, hated it, gave it a like 1 star. Don't like the plot. Where? Never entered the chat. Awful plot. Characters are truly awful, spoiled brats, uninteresting, and even though the world is ending, the world that they know, which quite world building, again, never entered the chat. The world is so small, it's so boring. Like, this isn't really romantasy. It is just poorly written romance that is set in a fantasy world. I mean, air quotations, okay? Air quotations. And the first book is just like the world's ending that they know, and the guys are just like, but do you like me? Awful book. You don't need to read it. Second book, all of a sudden, plot kind of entered the chat. She was there for a bit, and I was like, this is such a great story about us and them. I was thinking almost like Kristen Cicerelli's and the Crimson Moth. I was like, this is such a great like us and them. Do we, even though we're different, do we deserve to survive? I was saying, oh my god, she's really building up for the last book. I really hope she takes it home. Did she? No. I don't even know if these books are written by the same author. I don't know if she knows what she wrote in the second book, because does she bring it up in the third book? Not really. She's trying to have this plot twist that is so thinly veiled that if you do not understand, she is pointing towards it with a big blinking arrow mid-book. And we all understand where she's trying to go, which makes when we finally get there so uninteresting, because babe, we know. You told us like 200 pages ago. We picked up on it because it was not subtle. So like, we're not that surprised. I just think the writing is bad. And when I see, because I've seen some reviewers say that some books that really moved me, which again I agree, not the best writing, say that they don't like that writing, which is fine, and then they love this writing, which is like, this is like high school writing competition. It's so pretentious, but not in a great way, and it's so repetitive. And the way she is telling us what she's not even telling us. I should be compensated for the amount of therapeutic work I've been doing listening to these people like thoughts, inner monologues about just the same thing again and again and it's driving me crazy. And I don't care. I don't care. It's uninteresting. It is boring. There's no plot. These characters are. Get over yourself. And again, this book is doing what I personally think is the worst thing a book can do, and it's that it's boring. I don't care. I don't care. But thank God it's over. You don't need to read this series, okay? Skip the series. I gave it a 2 star. Nobody needs to read this. I'm honestly like annoyed that I spent my time on it, but here we are. We're moving on. I did also start reading when I was heading back from New York on Sunday. I started reading Caught Up by Liz Tomforde. It was on my TBR list, and I read 70% on the flight, and then I read the other 30% yesterday. Loved it. Loved it. I did give it a 4 star simply because, let me start. The book is about, this is the Win the City series. It's basically about different sports stars meeting a gal. So far, that's what the series has been about. It's been really beautiful. I love the way that Liz Tomforde is writing feelings. This is no different. This is about a guy that gets left with a baby. The baby is like a year and a half, and he's looking for a nanny. And his coach is like, listen, I am sick and tired of you being difficult with nannies. My daughter is going to be your nanny for the summer. No questions asked. You can't fire her. I can't deal with this anymore. You're stuck with her. Of course, this is where the love story is. She is like a wild child. She doesn't want to be tied down. She is a famous chef, and she's just here for the summer, and she's just traveling around working in different restaurants, and he's trying to settle down. And of course, there's a tug of war. And I do really like how she wrote this. The reason why I gave it a 4 star and not a 5 star, because I do love the feelings, is that some things are described a little heavy-handedly, which I don't feel like she's done in the other books. But there are some things where I'm like, I get it. We all get it. Like you're painting these like really broad strokes and like really trying to explain situations to us in a very blunt and just heavy-handed way, and I didn't love that. So there are some situations where I'm like, okay, we get it. I don't want to give away what it is because I'm going to give away the plot, but I didn't think it had the finesse. And then also this entire book is taking place over 8 weeks, which again, maybe I'm a cold-hearted bitch. That is not impossible. It could be me. It could very well be me. I'm the problem. I don't think that is enough time for all the things to fall into place that are falling into place. And I'm not only saying their feelings, I'm also saying the kid, because again, he's a single dad. I just feel like, again, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. I just feel like 8 weeks felt a little rushed. I think that she could have like maybe 12 weeks, maybe 16 weeks, 8 weeks. I'm like, I don't buy it. And again, I could be the problem. I probably am the problem. So the next book I am going to pick up and read is, I'm going to read the Will of the Many. That is the last book that I have on my TBR. I'm halfway through the month, and I have plenty of time to read that. But I think I'm going to read something else along with it, because I am looking forward to reading another, I don't know, maybe I'm in my romance era. I didn't even know that could be an era, but I feel like I want to read something else along with it, so I might read something alongside with it. I have another cowboy romance that I would like to read. I also started rereading or re-listening to Quicksilver. Brimstone is coming soon, and I'm re-listening to Quicksilver, the audiobook. I've only listened to like a bit of it, but it's so good. It is so good, and I am so excited about Brimstone. I will not finish that audiobook this month, but I want to let you know that I am also rereading Quicksilver. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I know Kingfisher is toxic, but he's my kind of toxic. I am here to give you a reading update. Are you also here to give a reading update? Come and sit there. Okay, okay, there's another dog here as well. I know, baby, I know. 2 dogs and no peace. There we go. Good boy. There's a Kaisa here too. Do you want to be here, Kaisa? You can be here. Come. This is my second dog. This is our rescue Kaisa. I love you very much. I don't know if we're supposed to be cuddling. Okay, thank you. I wanted to do a little reading update because I have been reading. I made some notes here. I've been reading half. I'm halfway through. Yes, halfway through The Will of the Many, and I want to do an update. I love it. This is high fantasy with some sci-fi themes in here, loosely based on like old Greek culture, and it is one of those books where the author, I realize the book, the author, the language, all of it. Listen, I got through 6 years of university. I have a degree. I'm a smart cookie, okay? But I know I'm about to be bamboozled. I'm not. I realize when I'm being out cookied, okay? This author is smarter than me, and I'm about to be bamboozled. I realize there's going to be a plot. There was just now at 50%. There was a plot twist that I somewhat was even thinking this could be happening. Something happens at 50%, and I remember thinking the chapter before, I wonder if. And it wasn't a total shock for me. That one I was like, maybe I am a smart cookie. Because I wasn't shocked by it. I was like, oh well, yeah, there we go. Here we go. Such a good dog. Really enjoying it. It is about a guy who is living under a secret identity at an orphanage, but he is 17 years old, so he has one more year until he has to be seething the will because he is at the bottom of a pyramid, and the further you up in the pyramid, this is like fantasy MLM. The further up you are in the pyramid, the more power, the more will you will get for the people under you in the pyramid. The only people giving power is the ones that are level 8, and he is 17, and when he turns 18, he's going to be at level 8, and he's going to be giving power, and he doesn't want that. Through some turns of events, he ends up being adopted by a man who is on the 5th level of the pyramid. He's a big shot, and he wants the guy who's the 17-year-old. He is like, I'm recruiting you, I'm adopting you to go into this university and be a spy for me. And there are so many agents and double agents and triple agents, and you don't know who to trust, and everybody has your own agenda, and it is so much political intrigue, and everybody is thinking so smartly and strategically. And again, I know I'm about to be bamboozled. I've heard that this book has a cliffhanger that just makes you go, and I am just preparing myself to be absolutely bamboozled because I do think that's what's going to happen. So I'm halfway through. I'm really enjoying it. It is, what date is it today? I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 days left of reading. So I definitely, I will finish this before the end. I'm not even worried about that. I will finish it for sure. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. It is really smart. It is really cool. But it is the way that Mistborn was a heavy read. Not that it's bad, not that it's like, ugh, I can't believe I have to read this again. It's more that you have to concentrate when you're reading this, so it takes longer to get through. That's why this one is taking me much longer to get through, but I am still enjoying it. I did actually finish listening to Quicksilver, and I devoured it. I devoured it in what, like 53 hours. I listened to the whole thing. I think it's a 20-hour audiobook. I was obsessed. I love this book. I think it's the most entertaining book I've read slash listened to ever. The audiobook is literally the best audiobook I've ever listened to. I don't even like audiobooks, but I ate this one up. I think the book made me pregnant because holy bananas. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. And even have been listening to some people who hate Quicksilver as of late, saying that there's a lot of like saying that there's some problem with consent. You know what I will say? I don't agree. I've read it now twice. I didn't catch it the first time. The second time I was looking for it, and no, I still don't see it. Is he toxic? Yes. Is he berating her? Yes. I personally think there's a reason for it, and that's going to be what I stand for. I do not see anything bad going on. I still think that he is deep down a good guy. He asks her for consent. She's the one initiating everything. Uh, Listen, I'm not that I'm gonna die on this hill. Definitely not. I could definitely be mistaken. But I did look for it the second time and I didn't see it. So maybe I'm just not seeing what other people are seeing. You know what? I love Quicksilver. Such an entertaining book. I love all the character. Carrion Swift. Carrion Swift. I need to see more of him in Brimstone that's coming out soon. I'm so excited. I don't really reread books, but here I am. I loved it even more the second time. First time 5 star, second time 6 star. I absolutely love Quicksilver.
Absolutely love it. I actually started listening to the Irresistible Urge to, is it Fall for Your Enemy? Something Kiara and something? I'm not 100% sure. You pop it up here and you can see. I started listening to that one, but then I ran out of like audiobook hours on Spotify. So I ended up just like either I will finish reading it or I will wait until I get more hours, which is in 6 days. So it's going to be the next month. But I did go, I've listened more than halfway through that book. It's okay. It's okay. I think it's one of those books. It's like Draco Hermione fanfic that's been republished. I don't see any traces of anything Harry Potter like in it right now. If I didn't know that it was fanfic, Tradpub, I would have never known. I would have never known if I didn't know it going into it. I think it is funny and witty, the same way that Assistant to the Villain is funny and witty. I don't know. It's my absolute favorite so far because I sometimes feel like it's written a little bit too simple. Um, but I don't dislike it. So far, it's like a 3.5 star. Don't hate it, not totally invested in it, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I will for sure finish The Will of the Many before the end of the month. And then we'll see if maybe I can squeeze in a contemporary romance as well. You never know. I'm not making any promises.
I'm gonna end this little segment with talking a little bit about The Will of the Many, because clearly I have now finished up The Will of the Many, and I did give the book a 5-star. I did think it was really good, and just as I said in the vlogging part, there was definitely a big twist at the end, and there was just no way that I would have been able to figure that out myself. I feel like the book feels very smart and educated, but it still didn't make me feel like I was uneducated. It just kept me on my toes. It really did keep me on my toes. And I feel like this book, just as with Metal Slinger, I came into this book knowing that it had a big twist at the end. And even though I knew that, and even though I'm telling this to you now, the reason why I'm saying is that I would never have been able to figure it out really. And I thought it was really smart and really interesting, and again kept me on my toes without being like, oh, no way, or being annoying. You know, there are some cliffhangers when you're like, that makes no sense. This still opened up a door to just other aspects to the part of the storytelling and to the part of the magic system, because this is a very interesting magic system, and I really did enjoy it. I did enjoy this book, and I read this book so close now because the second book is coming out now. This was The Will of the Many, and I think the other one is something of the Few, right? I'm not 100% sure, and I will definitely read part 2, even though I probably will not read it as it's being released. But I did enjoy it. It's very smart, not smart to the point where you're like, what am I reading? But it keeps you on your toes. I'm really enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the magic system. And I'm enjoying that it's not info dumping. There will be parts in this book where you are not fully understanding, but you're not supposed to. And I'm kind of enjoying that. And I did feel like the author was really good at writing political intrigue. Sometimes I feel like authors try to write political intrigue, and I'm just like, this is not smart enough. This is two-dimensional, it's lacking some layers, people are not fully thinking this through. It is only like 1 or 2 layers deep, but it needs to be 32 layers deep. And I really think that this author nailed that part. And I enjoyed how smart every character was. Not just 1 or 2, all of them were smart, and I fully enjoy that. With that being said, even though I gave this a 5-star, my favorite book this month was still Quicksilver, and it opened up my eyes to like, I actually enjoy rereading a book I loved. I enjoyed it even more the second time, and I also enjoyed listening to a book that I've read. And I thought it was just great. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for Brimstone, and I am happy I reread it, and it made me realize that there are more books that I want to reread if I liked Quicksilver this much the second time as well, because it truly is one of the most entertaining books I've ever read, and I'm smitten by the whole book. I'm smitten by the whole aspect of the second book coming out, and of course I'm really happy I got through the Lauren Roberts trilogy. I don't think I'm gonna read anything more by this author, and when I see people giving this whole series a 5-star, I am just questioning everything, because it is just so flat and so uninteresting, and the world building is just nothing. It's all just taking place in somebody's backyard, and it's it just falls so flat for me when there are so many interesting and imaginative books out there. This is what we choose to love. And the ending, oh my god. I don't know. Can you tell I'm just not at all enamored by that series? I just thought it was like blah. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I'm happy I'm through it. Okay, I took one for the team and I'm letting you know right now, if you want to start a new romantic series, you don't need to do that one, okay? You're totally fine. You don't need to do that. But I will do another one of these vlog styles for next month. But like I said, I haven't started yet and it is the 12th. So I'll probably start tomorrow and just wrap my head around the books that I've read so far and talk about them. But I did enjoy doing it like this and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. If you enjoy videos like this, if you want to see more book videos, if you want to see some travel vlogs, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment. It truly helps out. And I hope you're having a great day and I'll see you soon in a new video.